Hey guys, with all of the scientific world chattering about the first controlled landing on Mars, I thought it would be a good idea to talk to you about a little story called Mars Attacks. It used the amazing medium of bubblegum trading cards to tell the compelling story of invaders from Mars, where the Martians dispose of humanity in some of the most graphic and downright creative ways possible. The cards, of course, were a huge hit, especially after they were banned for being too violent. And as we all know, kids of the 1960s would never be subject to any violent imagery, would they? And while I'm not sure if this was intended to coincide with our latest mission to Mars, IDW has recently released a brand new comic book series, completely original from the cards, the movie, or any previous comic books. Issue 1 was pretty interesting. A Martian exploration fleet crashes to Earth in 1961, and it's not clear if they were here to invade, or if they were just here strictly for the sake of exploration. One of them gets separated from his crew, and gets sold to a carnival as a sideshow freak. And it gives the feeling that this whole invasion and downfall of humanity is pretty much the result of humanity just being a bunch of dicks, much like the rise of Planet of the Apes. And it actually made for a decent first issue, hooking me in and making me want to buy even more subsequent issues. And that was sufficiently nipped in the bud with the release of issue number 2. Issue 2 opens in present day, where we see a scientist showing the president, who is not President Obama for some reason, one of his latest inventions, a gauntlet that uses holograms to change the wearer's appearance. And in the midst of him showing it off, we see a montage of Martians all over the world who have successfully infiltrated human society thanks to this technology. This is what killed the comic for me. The folks at IDW Publishing just don't get what the Martians are all about. In the original trading cards, the very first act of aggression from the Martians is attacking a military base, setting everything that they see on fire. The Martians then use shrinking rays, frost rays, bulldozers, giant robots, tidal waves, even giant bugs to carry out their plan. It should be pretty clear that the Martians have no concept of subtlety in their culture. This hologram gauntlet would be clever in some other story, but it just doesn't make sense with these Martians. Not to mention, why would they even need to bother with the horrific invasion that they're soon going to inflict if they can disguise themselves and integrate into human society this easily? Why not just pose as government officials and take over the Earth that way?
It's a two-party system. You have to vote for one of us.
Oh yeah, and this gauntlet is apparently so easy to program that any human could just slip it on and magically turn into whatever he wants despite not having any idea as to how it works. How dramatically convenient. So yeah, great first issue, followed by a lame second issue. But, on the topic of second issues, I want to talk to you people at home just very briefly about Minutemen number 2. I'm sorry if my buying these before Watchmen comics is disgracing Alan Moore somehow, but whatever. I'm enjoying them so far. However, the end of Minutemen number 2 has me a bit confused. The Silhouette, Night Owl, and Mothman are investigating the disappearance of a young boy, and they find themselves in a derelict building where they follow a trail of blood to one of the upper floors, only to find someone hanging from the ceiling. Who is this? Is this the boy's kidnapper? Where's the boy himself? What does this have to do with the juxtaposed scene of Hooded Justice having sex with Captain Metropolis? Is that Captain Metropolis, or is it just someone who looks a lot like him? What's going on here? And while the end of this issue is still kind of confusing, it's not enough to keep me from buying subsequent issues. I'm still kind of curious as to why they would let a violent little prick like Edward Blake in the ranks of the Minutemen when they should be turning him in with all the other thugs that they hand over to the police. Will my curiosity be satisfied in future issues? Only time will tell. Catch you later.
Strong together, united forever, they're the best of friends. But when trouble's about, you'd best watch out for the Watchmen.
Night Owl is their leader, and he loves to party down. Rorschach's runs to the animals.
Yeah, when he's not clowning around.
Why nutty?
Beat up some thugs, say no to drugs, be in bed by 10. But if trouble's about, you'd best watch out for the Watchmen.
Spectre's a sensation, you should really never miss her. The comedian's her biggest fan now.
If I could only get that kiss.
OCM, your bestest, couple of crime zone superstars. John can give you cancer, and I'll turn into a car.
Strong together, united forever, come and meet your friends. Have no fear. Time's up, time's here for the Watchmen.
I was frozen today!